I'm Dr. Katrina Kuzishin-Jones at KKJ Forensic and Psychological Services. And now that we have been stuck at home for a bit with some time to reflect, I was thinking we could talk about using the time to reevaluate our values. One of the reasons that this can be a good time to do this type of thing is that, one, you actually have time to think, stop and think about things. But two, it's a time when people are feeling more fear and questioning what they're going to do next in their lives. Even though we know this is going to pass, it's just kind of human nature for us to start doing this kind of thinking. So what I would suggest is that we do this in a way that can be beneficial rather than worrying and focusing on negativity. So I think looking at all of the different areas where people assess their values can be really helpful, and then you can use this to set some goals for yourself for either the rest of the year or even kind of coming up in the fall into the following year. So thinking about where your relationships are at. Are there people that you want to make repairs with? Are there people you need to make an apology to? Are there people that you need to reassess your relationship and maybe not be involved with them anymore? Kind of imagining where you would like those relationships to be in the next 3 to 6 months. How about your physical well-being? This might seem odd in a time frame where we're all feeling like we have to be cooped up in our houses, but really using this time to reassess what are your eating habits, what are your exercising habits, what are your sleeping habits, what are your other self-care habits? Do you give yourself enough rest? Do you give yourself enough socialization? Are you over-focused on your work and career? Are you overly focused on the needs of others rather than your own? And go ahead and kind of picking through, again, what are areas that you would like to see some growth and change in the next 3 to 6 months. Thinking along the same lines of that with your career and your work. Being in a position where we're either not at work or we're working from home right now can give you an opportunity to think about, is this really what you want to be doing? I'll never forget a colleague of mine telling me, and this was probably close to 10 years ago now, so I'm sure it's changed, but that people have on average 6 careers in their lifetime. So is this a time frame for you to really be thinking about, doing those inventories, those interest inventories, looking at online courses, kind of, do you want to go develop your own online business? Really thinking about where you see yourself in the next 10 years of your career, and then kind of breaking that down into pieces in 3 and 5 year time span. Is there something that you would like to change in your environment or in your community? Is there a mission or a movement that is important to you? Do you want to be more focused on kind of clean air, clean water? Are you interested in helping volunteer in your community, building up a LGBTQ center, building up a community resource for families who are struggling in one way or another? Or you want to get back to your own spirituality, you want to go back to church, you want to go back to your place of worship. It also can be a time to reevaluate whether or not those systems that you feel are supportive are actually working for you, and looking again at how you want to make some changes in that area. And then one of the other areas to really think about is leisure time. This kind of falls under the category of self-care, but it can be different. Do you want to develop new hobbies? I set myself a goal of wanting to read, at least 6 new books or listen to them on audiobook for the year. Is it that you want to take up painting? Did you always want to learn how to bowl or learn a new sport, learn how to ski, something like that? So really using this time to think about where your life is at now. What is working is just as important as figuring out what is it that you would like to change. But when you figure out what you'd like to change, because there's always something that we want to do differently, even if it's just to grow an area, really think about how you can set that goal for yourself. Make it actionable. Make some short-term goals in order to reach those long-term goals. And this can be a bit of a struggle for people. So feel free to reach out, send me an email, give us a call, and this is something that we'd be happy to help you with.